All right, hey everybody, I'm Lance Allen from Takamine Guitars here with Tom Waters,
Also
the man
from Takamine
Takamine Guitars, yeah, and he's the Mr. Product Manager, manages product, and stuff to do with Takamine Guitars. And basically, what I got here is my EF75 model guitar that's from 2006, which has the Brazilian rosewood on it. If you can see that, it's kind of cool. They made somewhere between the tune of 80,
I think
90,
it was 88. It was ultimately
88.
what I remember the total being, although, who knows.
Yeah.
They were all kind of numbered, which we opted not to do on these for
No
that
serials?
No serials. For the very reason of people will going, well, what happened to 89 or what happened to her?
Right.
Or I want number 1 or I absolutely need number 7 or, that sort of thing. And then dealers fight over that. And it's actually more of a problem with the dealers than it is with the people who actually end up with the guitars.
Yeah.
But so we put on the label on the inside, it says 1 of 100 produced for the world. And it's for the world. I think so far in the U.S., man, I'm going off the top of my head, but I think it's something like we've gotten 42 in.
42.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Or 42 on order.
Right.
We haven't received all of them yet, but we just got another, another dozen, I think, or so. And, shipped some of them out, and I think we actually, for once, actually have a couple in stock as well.
You hear that, folks?
Yeah, in
Anyways,
stock.
turn that around. That's the
Oh
Madagascar
yeah, so this is
rosewood.
Madagascar rosewood. Oops, let's
Yeah,
try
there
to
you go.
not glare it there.
That's all right.
There we go.
It's got some nice orange hues and brown. It's very similar to Brazilian, but it's a little more straight.
Yeah, what I
straight
would say
grain.
I would say the difference between Brazilian and Matty color-wise is Matty will actually have kind of that pinkish kind of. It has more of the rose in the rosewood. Where I've seen on Brazilian, it has really really deep browns and really
Right.
really chocolatey colors. I've also seen like greens in Brazilian, like antifreeze colors and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's
A lot of
really kind of
blonde,
crazy.
too, in
A lot
some
of
of the
blonde,
under
depending
stuff.
on if they get sapwood involved as
Right,
well.
yeah.
Brazilian is kind of noted for its color, and it's a wide color range, whereas Matty has this really really nice kind of rose hue to it. This is actually a dark piece. I've seen some that are almost pinkish, but like I was telling you earlier, when I saw the wood in the factory, it was all this color, and which is kind of a higher grade of Madagascar as far as for the people who are looking for it for color. And I was just going, we got to do something with this. And so this wood, I believe, was 40 years old in their factory.
Okay.
It's really, you can't get new Madagascar rosewood right now because it's embargoed because of political
Sure,
climate
yeah.
in Madagascar. The other thing that's crazy about it, both Dalberges, right? One's from Brazil, one's from Madagascar, which if you played Risk is that little island off, off the edge of Africa there.
Yeah.
So they're
I always lose those 2 guys or 3 guys.
yeah, exactly. I haven't played Risk since I was probably 10
Right.
or 12 or something. But yeah, I mean, they're similar woods tonally. I think the key thing is with Brazilian, you're going to have a little bit more of that thump in the bottom end, and probably a little more shimmer on the top end, and more of the traditional rosewood mid cut. Whereas I think I'd say have more mid than Indian. But different mids than Indian too. Indian mids are to me a little bit more brash and more of a chimey sound, whereas I think Brazilian has more of a depth to it and more of a, a more detail, for lack of anything. Whereas I think when I describe Madagascar rosewood, it's got the bottom end, but it's not a huge bottom end thump.
Right.
Like it is with that. Similar sheen to the top end, which is what I think a lot of acoustic guitar players like. But what I see, the key difference is this has more of a syrupy, more molasses-like mid-range to me. And it's higher mid-range than the Brazilian. The Brazilian is a lower, smoother, down there mid-range, whereas this has more of a... you end up using all these dairy adjectives which don't make any sense or anything like that.
And this EF75 has the thermal top,
Right.
which basically is a heat-treated
Yeah.
type of thing that makes the guitar older sounding.
Yeah, well,
My guitar, when I got it, was really blonde.
Yeah.
And then over time, when the light
It's
hit
gotten-
it and
we're
played
almost
it,
the same color
we're
now.
almost the same color. So
Actually, yours might even be a little darker.
yeah,
No, they're about the same.
Let it sit out in the sun for a little while. It'll be okay.
But what ends up happening when they heat treat the wood, too, just so you know, it releases a lot of moisture. It changes the
Molecular structure.
well, yeah, but really, really, ultimately, what it ends up doing is there's three elements of wood: hemicellulose, cellulose, and I think I can never remember the last one. It's lignin or something like that. But it's so there's three elements, and they kind of work against each other when they're new, and that's what makes a new guitar kind of seem stiff and stuff like that, because the crosstalk between all the elements of the wood isn't there. But when you heat it or when you age it, for play it in for 11 years, like your guitar is, essentially the crosstalk between all the elements of the woods kind of equalize and they get friendlier. And so this speeds that along in the process. That doesn't mean that this is done. It's never going to get more aged. But we're probably, if I were to say in comparison, we're probably 7 or 8 years down the road, whereas yours is 11 years down the road. Now, in another year's time, this will be a lot farther on.
Yeah,
down the
especially
road.
after it's been played and it's gotten the vibrations going
Well,
through it.
yeah, because it hasn't. Like I said, we pulled this out of the box for the show today. I think Joe Madrano had played it at Takamine, getting it together, and setting it up for the show, and that's it. And then you played it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
right.
which is pretty cool. That it sounds as good brand new like that.
All right, folks. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a listen at both of them.